The Nikki Glaser Podcast. The Nikki Glaser Podcast.
Here's Nikki. Hello, here I am. It's the Nikki Glaser Podcast. Welcome to the show. It's Monday. We had last week off. Thank you for hanging in with us and allowing us to have a vacation. It was nice. It was nice to take a break. It is good to be back. Very good to be back. What did you guys get into? Noah, you went to Florida. Mm-hmm. Eventually you made it there. You had trouble getting there?
Oh, my flight was canceled on Monday, so I lost a day of vacation.
An entire day? Did you leave later Monday?
Well, the flight was scheduled for 5:30 in the morning, and then they're like, we're canceling all flights for that day because it was the weekend of Flight Mageddon or whatever they were calling it.
Oh, yeah.
So actually, it worked out in our favor because we wouldn't have taken the day off. I mean, I guess it was Juneteenth, so it was like a federal holiday, but we had the day off.
Yeah,
but we just had our bag.
You got a free day.
For the first time, my bag was packed early. I had a whole day with a packed luggage that I just dread packing all the time.
Yes.
So we were able to
that was the only time you've ever had a day before you leave for a trip where you literally have nothing to do. It's the only way I ever have nothing to do is if something gets canceled.
Yes, so I really understood it because I always wait until the night before and then I have no sleep and I'm just groggy and my whole first day is ruined of vacation. So we just gallivanted around town, just had sex. We were just we had nothing to do. It was awesome.
What a great day. That seemed to be so devastating when you got the message. Did you get the message at the airport or before that?
They must
have canceled it at 3 a.m.
It was so we got an email at 6:30, but no text, and of course we didn't check our email until 9:00 at night. So that's when we were we got to change the car rental.
Okay,
and
at
all
least
that.
they let you know a little bit ahead of time
before getting to the airport, which was nice.
Yes, that is so nice.
Yeah, and then
Florida was great.
Yeah, Florida was really great.
You look so tan.
Thanks. I do catch sun very easily.
Yeah,
and I'm
no longer little glow.
Translucent.
How long were you in that Versa spa? I don't understand collecting sun in a natural way. What setting did you use at the Versa?
8.
Yeah, it looks really good. What'd you do, Andrew?
Golf. So much. I literally played, I think, I'm not kidding, maybe 85 holes.
Wow. Dang.
An addict. But I shot the best shot I've ever shot in my life.
Yes.
I shot a 76 at a hard-ass course.
What does that mean to people who don't know?
Only 4 over par.
Damn.
It's insane.
Still don't know what that means.
It was insane. It
par
all came together.
The amount of shots it would take you to shoot it. If you hit par, it's you're
par
really
72.
Good.
So par is they give you an allotted
C
amount
plus.
of hole. No, par is an A.
Why do they make par? Why does it sound if someone's subpar, it means they're below average. Par means average. Right?
Yeah, I guess. In golf terms, though, par, yeah, he's on par. Yeah, you're on par. Whatever. It's the allotted amount of strokes they give you per hole. The best players on earth might shoot in the 60s every once in a while. So, yeah, it was a big deal.
That's huge. Where were you at?
This place called The Landings, which is right next to a private airport, so you just see the richest jets
landings.
Yeah, they just watch me, fucking.
Or they're not watching you at all.
No, they're watching.
You think they're watching you. You love that they might be watching.
Yeah, they saw me.
You like
no,
it.
I don't give a shit. It's funny that apparently there's a hangar where they just park their very expensive cars, but then they've turned them into man caves. So it's how can I avoid my family?
Oh, yeah.
They're I got to get to my flight. It's at 9 a.m. and they're just at their man cave, fucking someone else,
yes.
until they get on their private plane.
I'm sure private hangars or the lounge area when I've been in private, when I've flown private, the lounge area. It seems it's a place people go to escape. Yeah. All of these places are, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's just it was pretty amazing.
Is it called The Landings because it's next to an airport and people are landing?
Probably, or my landing strip, maybe. You know how I like.
Yeah,
to
they
keep
named it
tight.
after you. Your pubic hair situation when you went to the bathroom there once.
It was fucking awesome though. We played with. It's funny. So So this guy from I made a friend that works at Golf Galaxy.
What
I
percentage
paid to
did you
have
get?
him be my friend.
What do you get off? 40%?
I don't know yet. I'm gonna go back in today and see. He's a very good player. So when like anything, like he shot a 72. He shot par. So like I tried to keep up with him.
Yes.
So I've learned, just fucking play with people that are better than you. But like, so I go to these golf places a lot by myself, and they pair you up. So I've been paired up with the most random strangers.
It's a good way to meet people, get stories.
One of the guys was from Vero Beach, Florida, from my hometown. And so
did he care? Because this is the thing that happens a lot when you go, oh my God, I'm from there. And then they keep just talking about themselves.
That's exactly what happened.
I knew it. I'm so tired. I witnessed this happening to you.
Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean though?
This thing that people do where it's like, I will meet someone from St. Louis or from Kirkwood, like a town. I'll go, I'm from Kirkwood. And they go, yeah, I went to Hazelwood West. And I go, oh my God, where do your parents live? They tell me, oh, my parents live off this. Yeah, they got a place out there. It's like they don't ever acknowledge that it's cool. It's so weird.
It is weird. That is exactly what happened
all the time, and I see it happen to you chronically on the road of being like, "Oh, I'm from Vero Beach." Like, they'll say Port St. Louis, or like you'll say, and they will not acknowledge what you just said to be like, "Oh my God, really? Where did you?" They don't ask. People have
It was so
a real
funny.
problem where they don't care about anyone else.
Well, no one's from Vero Beach is a small town.
Exactly.
And he goes, Vero Beach, Florida. Mind you, like the chances of this, 1 out of maybe 10 million, or not 10 million, but 1 out of what? A million or so? Par, whatever. So
not 1 out of a million, but okay.
Several. So he goes, Vero Beach, Florida. I go, are you fucking serious? And he goes, yeah, so I'm from Vero. Like gave me
even,
absolutely
why
nothing.
You were excited.
Yeah.
This is honestly antidepressants, what's ever in the water, depression. Like people have no spike of curiosity, no interest in anyone else. Sorry, but this is mainly a man thing. You gotta ask about other people at some point in your life. And this has nothing to do with the fact that I just got off the road with most men.
Yeah.
But a little toss back of a question even once, and it's not all men for sure, but man, it's a man thing. And they don't do it to each other either, and they don't have it done to them. Men need to be more curious and complimentary and kind to each other. But men are so scared to share anything a little bit personal that it will get them mocked, that they have no interest in anything personal from anyone else. And I'm not talking personal like,
Well, how personal should it get with a stranger?
Is your mom
though?
sick? No, but I mean, you're from Vero Beach? Oh, cool. Like they've just become muted to any kind of curiosity in anyone else. And I will say that this is a common thing that I see on Reddit for girls going on dates. You see it as a meme all the time.
Oh, he doesn't ask me anything.
He doesn't ask you any questions. Yeah. And men like learning the simple thing of like, oh, you just like hit the question back. Like that blows men's minds. And I'm not even mad at men for this at all. It is cultural. It's not your fault, but you need to like stop only talking about yourselves. And just even fake interest in someone else's story, even once.
Well, that being
said, just learn how to fake it.
I played with another random strangers, and it was a uncle and a nephew that he flew in his 16th birthday, and it was like their like fun weekend. It was the most adorable thing. Yeah, there were strippers. Yeah, they had hookers in the back of their car.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, they flew in on the private plane.
What part of St. Louis is this?
Cocaineville
or Illinois is it?
The 16-year-old was such a cute kid, and he's like a Cubs fan. The Cubs were playing the Cardinals this weekend, so we were like going. He was playing like shit.
He got shot.
He's playing terrible. I go, how about you start saying the Cubs suck every time you hit a ball? Right before you hit, say the Cubs suck, and he goes, the Cubs suck, and he hit it great, and he's like, maybe the Cubs suck, and he just loves saying that the Cubs suck,
even though he loves the Cubs.
Yeah, and then at the end, I swear to God, like I didn't even like think they liked us that much. Because we were like way better than them, and we were like waiting for them the whole time. And he said to his uncle, I almost started crying because he said to his uncle, he's like, I couldn't imagine playing with two better guys.
Oh,
And it was it was
I'm
like
telling
the
you,
cutest.
this generation of
Yeah.
kids like has more emotion, and
It was nice. It was really cute.
they
and,
say the cutest things.
and the Cubs do suck. So
It's so sweet.
I don't know. I don't even know what they're doing. Anyway, so
Yeah.
you were on.
The Cubs suck because I'm from St. Louis, and that's just what I have to say. If,
Yeah.
if I'm gonna get along with people here.
If you're from Florida and you like the Dallas Cowboys, people are like, "What the fuck are you doing liking Dallas? You're from Florida. How could you like Dallas?"
Because it's just as random as you liking Dallas. Because none of these people are from Dallas. They're only here because you paid them more. They actually probably fucking hate your city and are going to leave as soon as they get cut from the team.
Oh, so you were on a you were on a bus.
vacation.
You weren't on vacation.
Wait, no, but you also went to Colorado.
Oh, before
didn't you?
that.
Oh, yeah, I did go to Colorado first. Yeah, I went on a girls' trip to Colorado. I was there Sunday. I flew from Toronto to Colorado. Toronto, not Toronto. I learned the hard way. There were a lot of.
Is there
I
no
said
T in
Toronto.
there? What's
There
going on?
is. Did you watch my act? So, Toronto
What
is
act?
is the way I was saying it because there is a second T, and I like hard T's. Hard seltzers, hard teas,
Oh,
and then I was saying it, and I could sense the audience being like, "She's saying it." Like I could just sense there was a hesitation to laugh at my jokes about Toronto because I was saying it wrong, and I go, "Is it Toronto or Toronto?" And they're like, "Toronto," and I'm like, "Wait a second, clap if it's a hard T," and they're like dead silent, and I'm like, "You guys, I was saying it with a hard T. Why didn't you stop me?" And they were just like. It was so funny. And then I went off on a whole Drake tangent where I called him a pedophile, allegedly. And I literally thought I was going to get, canceled. I thought I was going to maybe, if the video I did in Toronto came out, that my career would be over because Drake is so powerful. And what I said about him cannot.
You might be getting shot at. But he's not really
Why
that
did you say
gangster
that?
over because he's a rapper.
I said that his people would make me look like he did in Degrassi. He's in a wheelchair. So I don't have any evidence for him being creepy to young women, but I definitely think that he is. And I made a bunch of jokes about it. It was so fun and freeing. And then I also made fun of the CN Tower there.
Yes.
And I called it we came up with the joke that it's did you give me the space? It looks like the Seattle Space Needle, but with healthcare.
I don't know. I don't remember.
We were writing jokes, but
Yeah.
we said it was the Seattle Space Needle with healthcare because it does look like the Seattle Space Needle. They wouldn't even let me get out with healthcare because they were booing so loudly at me comparing it to the Seattle Space Needle, and it unlocked this thing for me where I was like, do you guys have a problem with Seattle? Like, what is this booing? Like, I go, your CN Tower, it looks like a lot like the Seattle Space Needle. Boo! I was like, what? Is it a bad looking thing? That was like, and I go, you guys didn't let me get to the punchline because you were booing so much with healthcare. And they go, ah, ha, ha, ha. And I go, what is this? You guys really don't like your CN Tower being made fun of. And then I was just, said it looked like a robot, what's it called? When you in your ear, Q-tip. They didn't like that. They just didn't like any, but it's not, it does look, it's indistinguishable on a skyline from the Seattle Space Needle.
I think they liked it though. I think
No, of course they liked it, but
Yeah.
they liked that I was then making, they really didn't, there was something that they didn't know
they
about
have pride.
themselves.
They have like pride in this thing.
Yes.
I mean, and I'm sure they've been compared before. Which one's taller? I mean, is there one that's actually better? Like,
Well, I asked
percent?
Noor, the girl
Yeah.
from Toronto, she lives in Toronto, about the CN Tower. And I was like, does it ever get compared to Space Needle? And she was like, I don't even think Canadians know what that is. So that's why I was shocked.
They booed Florida when I brought up Florida, and I was like, how north do I have to get for people to not hate Florida?
I think they just rightly are kind of disgusted with America. I said that, one of the I look up interesting facts about Toronto, and it was like, one of the headlines was 10 facts to get to, Americans to visit Toronto. That'll convince any American you gotta visit Toronto. And the number one was, Toronto is the most ethnically diverse city in the world. And I was like, clearly you don't know Americans. We don't want that at all. That's the opposite. And they loved that. They loved it. It took them a second to get it. I was like, no, we don't like anyone else other than what we are. Ethnically diverse, that would get us run the other way. Do you disagree?
Well, I think America's pretty, but yes, I think if you look at like St. Louis or something like that,
I'm
it's
sorry
very
if you go. We have an
segregated.
amazing Chinatown, or you'll come here and you will meet so many people who don't speak your language and food that you think is stinky because it's not yours. Most Americans, when they travel abroad, they go to like Paris, safe
Yeah.
place. They don't really want culture. They want like Disney Paris.
Really want culture in like restaurant cuisine, not in actual culture. I mean, even in New York, each
And I'm
part of the
speaking for
city
myself.
is,
I want what I know.
separated.
Yeah.
You want what? Yeah.
Yeah, when I go places, I mean, I do get adventurous, but I'm a typical American too. It was just a joke about how Americans are racist. Is that news to any of us?
No, it's not news.
I mean, I was in the South yesterday, and I'm just it's just interesting. I took my shirt off 2 nights ago in Georgia, and then when we get to Mississippi, there was a vibe of like,
Don't take your
do
shirt
that
off.
tonight. Like if the nipples pops out, we could be
Going to jail.
yeah.
Really the Rolling Stones
Yeah,
style.
well, with Roe versus Wade lifted, overturned, this is the slippery slope that it is. Is like you could get, people are telling girls to not take off their, get their period tracker apps off their phone because
Yeah.
you'll get in trouble for getting your period or miscarrying. I mean, so the idea that taking off your shirt and showing your nipples, which I just saw something where a girl had her nipples photoshopped off. They cut out just the nipple part, which is the only part that needs to be ever blurred. And then they photoshopped in male nipples and it was able to be shown. Does it
look
look
that
any different?
different?
No, it looks no different. That's the irony.
If you put my nipples on any girl, they'd be like, those are extremely feminine nipples.
Oh yeah, she must be lactating.
Yeah.
She just gave birth to quadruplets. All right, guys, we gotta take a break. We'll be right back with more. Andrew!
Hey, coming down the road, listen up, my mode. I'm nothing but a frog and a toad.
And we're back. But the tour was so I went to Colorado after Toronto. I was there for Sunday through Thursday. I went to Columbine twice.
Twice.
It was the best thing I've ever done. One of the best things. I told my dad it was like you seeing like fucking pyramids in Egypt or something, even though he doesn't even care about Egyptian culture that much. But it's like, to me, it was that like profound, like, oh my God, so much history has happened here. Like, I don't understand why. I don't know. Me going to Columbine is definitely different, and like people don't really understand it, or they might like laugh at it, or like. But when people visit concentration camps, I'm kind of uncomfortable with that. Why are you going? So that it never happens again? Or because you kind of have a morbid curiosity about the worst atrocity to ever happen to humankind, going to the place where things got that fucking bad. And you're a little bit morbidly curious. Is it that? Or is it because you just need to learn so it can never happen again? Because although obviously we want it to never happen again, I don't think people are going on those tours to pay homage as much. Let's say non-Jews. There is a morbid curiosity, but there's something acceptable about going to look at a gas chamber, and then if you try to get into Columbine High School, you're arrested.
Well, I guess just like if there was a killing of Jews like a week before, people would be more sensitive to it. I think people are just sensitive.
This was 23 years ago.
No, I know, but the Texas shooting was a month ago. I'm just saying it's still a hot. You could disagree, but that is where people are coming from.
Then I think it's even more important to go if it's still something that actually is needing to be like acknowledged so that it doesn't happen again.
For sure. I mean, I don't have any problem with it. I'm just saying people will think they'll connect those two dots that it's too soon to be.
But
taking
I'm not excited about it.
I'm not saying you are. I'm saying.
I mean, I'm thrilled by it, but I'm not like giggling like, like, oh, so excited. It's just, I just think that there is a commonality between people listening to murder podcasts. And just the way I said that I'm interested in pedophile stuff, and people are like, that's so weird. It's like, why is it weird if you listen to people being brutally raped and murdered and two girls making little jokes about it? Why is that different than me reading a book about a mass shooting or about a pedophile? It's because one is so egregious, and I don't know what the difference is. I really don't. It makes it seem like I'm collecting data to go do it, whereas people that go to visit the September 11th Memorial are just like, I'm just honoring it. It's like, well, no, you kind of want to see the morbidness of it. You want to see the sadness. You want to hear the phone calls. You want to see the falling man. Like, you want to see kind of sad shit. Scary stuff.
I agree. I'm just saying that I think the difference is one is very specific. Like, planes crashing into a building happens once in 100 years. Maybe, who knows if I'll ever.
But isn't that weird if I wait to go to Columbine because a school shooting just happened? And by the way, when will it ever stop so that there's a window where I've come out so much from a school shooting that I can visit Columbine without any kind of,
there won't be
inappropriate context. There's not. So I went in the only window I know of where a school shooting hasn't happened within 10 days of note. Yeah. And it's probably not even true because probably one happened the day before.
We didn't even hear about it.
Yeah. But I went there twice. I went there.
So what did it feel like going there and seeing like...
I loved it. I loved it so much. I was so I was captivated. I was emotional. I was what's the what's the word? There's a word that I don't feel that often, but I felt like quiet reflectiveness. It felt spiritual. It felt really spiritual, and it felt creepy at one point.
I mean, it'd be weird as shit if they had like a museum at the school. Like it is.
They don't, but they have a memorial.
They do have a memorial.
This is one of the most beautiful schools I've ever seen in my life. Yeah. By the way, like whatever you can picture for the most beautiful high school ever, like where it is, mountains, lake. Sprawling grasslands with little groundhogs everywhere, rolling hills, flat, so you could see all of this. Like, I don't even know. It's just in this Columbine Valley. It is, I mean, if I ever have kids, I'm going to move to Littleton because I want them to go to the school because it is so beautiful. There's so much pride. There's so much there's something about that school because they survived that and went through that is just, there's like a strength that you feel. And then, so we went on Sunday night. And we didn't get there in time before it got dark because we needed to eat dinner and we were starving. So we got there at night and we are kind of like nervous because we're driving past and we're like, is this creepy? Like they're probably waiting for us to show up. It's 23 years later. It's Father's Day, 23 years later, 9:30 at night. No one cares. No one's, and literally there are students that go there that don't even know what happened at that school. Like that's how far removed. It's not like in the air. There's not memorials everywhere. There's not like flowers on flagpoles. There's not like white bicycles or whatever the fuck.
You get pulled over like, ma'am, are you just driving by because of morbid curiosity? They're like, oh no.
They pull us over and we're like, I'm sorry.
I didn't do
Columbine. They're like, your taillight's out. Yeah. What are you talking about, Columbine? What's Columbine? That's the name of the town. Is there anything else that happened here? So we go and we walk from the back. We park in like a subdivision, which by the way, like even the subdivision had a part to play in Columbine because when the kids sprinted away from the school, there were like triage units set up like in all of these houses in the front yard. So I like recognize the front yards. I know like I'm like Zillowing so I can maybe buy one of these houses just because they're just such, I don't know why I'm so obsessed with it, but we park.
What do you think the obsession is, though? Like, if you had to, like, honestly, like...
Because something happened there that changed everything for me and for my high school was bookended by Columbine in my 9th grade year, September 11th, my senior year. Like, it was the first time to me where it was like, I was an adult processing the news, like, with the nation and, like, shock and horror and just, like, I don't know. I just really got into it in terms of, like, I remember all my friends being like over it immediately. Same with September 11th. I'm not joking you. Friends over it. Just like, oh God, that was weird. Weeks later, I was still like captivated by it. Like I couldn't understand why it was falling out of the news. Like it just seems so I don't know. I guess it's for me, it's the same thing of like why I feel like I'm drawn to comedy. It's because I feel like, or the things I talk about on stage, it's stuff that I'm like, why isn't everyone talking about this? It's really important. Sex is really important. Why does everyone act like we're not doing it? Mm-hmm. It's just weird to me. It doesn't make sense and it bothers me. And so I don't know what it is, but we go and we walk this trail and we're walking and it's behind the school that you have to like go up a hill to even see the school. And I'm kind of annoyed because I can't see the school and I don't really know where we are. I can't get my bearings right. I'm looking at the map. None of it's making sense. And then we walk up this trail that says Columbine Memorial. And I took a picture of the like sign that was like all the no loud music, no smoking, no drugs, no loitering, and it said the no was crossed out on no drugs, and it said only. So I was like,
Damn.
Columbine.
Hell yeah.
And so we climbed up this
Columbine.
little hill that took us to the Columbine Memorial, which is beautiful, and then we snake around, and it goes down to this amazing memorial that is made with all these plaques. And this is the only story I'm going to tell from Columbine at this moment because it's a little long. So we go to Columbine. There's all these plaques, 13 plaques for each kid that died, and then Eric and Dylan, the perpetrators, they don't have a plaque, but so the 15 total, 13, 12 students, one teacher. And each student has a plaque, and the one teacher that their loved ones wrote from them of like, and they're all just like biblical references mostly. Like she loved the Bible, Jesus loved her, like every single one of them. It's kind of painful. And then except one kid's made me cry so much. And he was the only one that made me cry. I forget which one he was, but he was at the end. Matt, I think his name was. His plaque was the best if you ever go. But we go there. It's me, my sister, and Catherine. Or I'm sorry, it's me, Catherine, and Kirsten.
Wait, what did his say?
His wasn't like Jesus will love you. You'll walk in the garden. It was like
Dave Matthews rules.
You made everyone laugh. You could always. We'll miss you so much. Whenever there's someone talking to a dead person and like you like in first person talking to a dead person like they're still there, or it's a dead person talking to people from like in a letter like I'll miss you guys. Like if it's ever that those situations. Waterworks for me immediately. It's first happened in Forrest Gump. Jenny, you'd be so proud. He's real smart boy, Jenny. Like that, like talking to a dead person about them being proud, or I don't know, it get me. So I'm crying. But before his is this girl Cassie Bernal, her plaque. And as we get there, let me just say that there's a woman there talking to like a family. And I didn't really know the dynamic until later. So some of this is pieced together afterwards, but there's like a group of people talking. And then as we make our way around the plaques.
At 9:30
Yes,
at
at
night?
9:30 at night, there's a family of four, two kids, two younger kids, and two adults, and then another woman. I don't really see the makeup of them. This is after that I put it all together. But we get there. And me, Catherine, and Kirsten are like quietly reading each plaque as we make our way along. And Cassie's, which is where these people are kind of situated, is like the 11th out of 13. So we're making our way around. While we're doing that, like we're trying to read the plaques, but we keep overhearing their conversation because it's like weird and it's very quiet. All you can hear, there's like 4 fountains going. I don't know what they symbolize, but there's like, water trickling, but it's quiet. And the girl, I thought they were talking about a person they both know, because she kept saying, well, he is always going to be with us and he cares about us and he's trying his best. And like I thought they were honestly talking about like planning an intervention for someone, because the way they're talking about this person that they love, but that is like sometimes not there in their lives. But then it turns out they were talking about God. Okay, so he oftentimes is not a person. I don't assume people are talking about God when they say he. That's why I always say, if you want to know what a Christian rock song is, if you want to be able to identify the song you're listening to, if it's Christian rock, if it's a man singing about he, it's Christian rock, because otherwise it's gay rock. No one's ever like, he will be the one.
Yeah.
He will walk with me. It's either Christian rock or gay or both. So probably both. So, she's saying he a lot. Then she goes, can I get a hug? I just really feel like connected to you. And I can hear the family.
Hug from you?
No, to the couple
okay.
she was talking to. And then they part ways. And Catherine and Kirsten are also piecing together more parts of their conversation. I'm really trying to focus on the victims and read their plaques and not hear this woman talk to this family. So the family leaves. Finally, it's just this woman in front of Cassie's plaque. And by like 25 minutes later, we get to her plaque, because the plaques are a lot to read. And we get to her plaque, and this woman's standing in front of it. Now, this is a giant... It's a pretty big, rotund gazebo type cement thing, stone thing with all these plaques. There's no reason to block the plaque that we're about to read, because we've been making our way around. It's like a circle of plaques, and we're making our way around, and we're right at the end, and she's standing in front of Cassie's. Now, the story with Cassie is the martyr of Columbine. She was the one that, Eric Harris put a gun to her head and said, do you believe in God? And she said yes, and then he blew her head off. Okay, but guess what? I read Columbine. That's not what happened at all. And if you've ever heard that story, it's fake news. She got attributed that story because there was an eyewitness who heard Eric say that in the library. But the thing is, it didn't happen to her. It happened to another girl. And that girl did get shot when she said yes, but she survived. Cassie got that story attributed to her. He never asked her if she believed in God. She wasn't a martyr. She probably would have said yes had she been asked because she was a huge Christian. But her mom got a book deal afterwards, and she became this martyr of Columbine. Literally the only living martyr that we have or that the Christians have. Not since, biblical times had someone go, do you believe in God? I'm going to kill you if you say yes. And they say yes. Like, she was this new driving force, and she was cute, pretty. She had been saved by Jesus. She was this great story that the Christian church now had to push its agenda. She's the face of it, especially in Columbine, where it's like all these kids, and they wanted to really get a lot of kids into religion.
Yeah.
And so everyone wants to be like Cassie. She was a crusader for Christ, Then it comes out as investigations, like she wasn't the one that said it. It was this other girl. And the girl is embarrassed that now she doesn't even want to say, hey, I said it, because she didn't want to take this from Cassie, this poor girl who died. She survived. Like, give it to Cassie. Her mom got a book deal, $1 million. That publishing company, it put them on the map because of this book. Everyone's buying it. It still sells very well. Eventually, Cassie's family, and it came out that this other Cassie didn't say that, but it never got anywhere because the story was already done. And that's Cassie's legacy to everyone that knows and hasn't read the book Columbine by Dave Cullen. So then I get to the plaque. They give any
money to their family, the girl that lived?
I don't know, but I get to the plaque, and it's a really interesting story of how that all comes to be and how they find out that she was the one that said it. So you should read the book, but that's the fact. So this woman's standing in front of her plaque, and so we get up to it, and she goes, "What are you guys doing? Is it your first time to the memorial?" Yeah. I'm visiting. We all we're freshmen when Columbine happened. It means a lot to us, and we're just paying our respects. And she's like, oh yeah, I was in 8th grade, and I'm from up Aurora area, wherever she was, some area not too far away. So she wasn't a student. I didn't feel like I was trying to suss it out to be like, I don't want to say anything. I want to respect if she's here, and I don't want to even be here if she's having a moment. And then she just keeps asking so what brings you, are you from here? Do you live in Denver? And I'm like, no, I'm thinking about moving here though. I love it. I go, Catherine's from Denver. We're talking. And then later on, she's calls back Catherine's name, which we're like, how did she know her name? But she was paying attention to her names because she's a fucking God freak that was trying to get us into her cult, which is what we found out later. These people stand in front. Anyone who goes to the Columbine Memorial probably is a Christian looking for they go to visit Cassie's thing because Cassie was the martyr of Columbine. If you're religious at all, you've probably heard of her if you were a Christian in the 2000s. So she waits there at 9:30 on a Sunday night. And she waits there for us to come
Sunday.
Up.
Yeah.
Or probably every fucking day. And she waits. She's younger than us. And she tries to convert people, which is what she did to the last family that kind of had it with her. And we're kind of trying to get away. But she's still like, can I give you a hug? Let's stay in touch. Here's my number. So I don't realize any of this, by the way. I just think she's a random girl that didn't go to Columbine. I knew she didn't have any family there. I knew she wasn't a sister of Cassie's. Mm-hmm. So while we're reading the plaque, I haven't told Kirsten or Catherine the story of Cassie, but it says on the plaque, she said yes, blah, blah, blah. And I go, no, she didn't. I go, she probably would have, but you guys, and I told her the whole story. And the girl goes, what? And I go, she didn't say yes when they didn't ask her if she believed in God. It was another girl across the room. It was falsely attributed to her. It's been proven. It's been debunked completely. That's completely false. But they let her have it because why not? She probably would have said yes. And she's like, where did you read this? And I'm like, there's this book Columbine by Dave Cullen. It's a factual account, and which doesn't matter to religious people most of the time anyway. But I didn't even realize what I was doing. I bet you anything, this girl, her whole reason for Christ was probably because Cassie said yes. That probably when she was in 8th grade made her go, I want to be like Cassie, and I'm going to be into Christ. So I completely debunked within seconds of meeting this girl her entire reason for loving God. Because she just, all of a sudden I went back to the plaque and she disappeared into the night. And a couple minutes later, we're looking at the plaque and then we look up and I go, guys, where did that ghost girl go? And she disappeared into the night. You can't get to this memorial without walking a quarter mile. And she just disappeared into the grassland. She was wearing an all black. She kind of just slinked away. We thought she was still right there because we didn't hear footsteps. She was totally a ghost. But that was the first night that we went to Columbine that this creepy woman tried to convert us with her fucking standing in front of, blocking the plaque, acting like she's some ambassador for Cassie who she had nothing to deal with. Mm-hmm. This is why I think I love religion and I love God for the fact that it did. This girl Cassie, she was like doing hardcore drugs. She was about to be a runaway. She was totally fucked up, and then she did find Christ, and it gave her purpose. It gave her a direction. She cleaned up her life. That's why I love God, and I love when people find Jesus. That is a beautiful story. She probably really did believe she had a connection with Christ. Like, her poems were like, good Lord, this girl, one of the girls, Lauren, that was also murdered, they had just excerpts from her journal, and it was all like, I cannot wait to meet Christ in heaven and bathe his feet and kiss his head. And I'm like, this girl was so horny for God. Like, I think a lot of girls get horny for Jesus, which he's kind of hot.
He says, yeah, he's a good looking man. He's like you with a beard.
Thank you. That didn't feel bad, kind of.
Compared to the Son of God?
Oh, that's a good point. Okay, that's why you said it. Okay, we got to go to break. We'll come back with top one, bottom one. So, back to the show. Let's do top one, bottom one. We got a good one today. I think we've done one similar to this, but I switched it up by making it our sex, gender, whatever. If we're doing a binary system, male, female, we're going to talk about top one, bottom one.
Fashion statements of our same sex.
Fashion statements. Things we like, things we don't. Trends. Fashion trends, statements. What annoys us? What do we like? What do we not like? I'll go. We'll start with top. For my own
top or bottom?
Bottom.
Oh, bottom. We
end on
always
a
leave
high
on a
note.
positive note.
Yeah, I think any guy. I mean, I just hate.
Yeah, you go first.
Any rich branding, whether it's like Prada, Versace, or if a guy's wearing, especially like Balenciaga shoes that are about, I don't know, they look like they're the size of a fucking yacht on his feet just to show how rich he is. It just annoys me.
Yes.
Just anything showing how rich and how much better you are than people on fashion just annoys me. I don't know.
Like just leaving price tags on kind of thing.
Well, I guess you leave the price tag on
What's the
by
difference between
seeing.
you wearing a Carhartt shirt? Like you're wearing
Well,
that.
this is a $25 T-shirt. The Balenciaga shoes are $1,000.
Oh, it's about saying I'm rich.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
It's just the gaudiness of like thinking you're better and I mean, look, you could talk to them and then be like, no, I just really love the shape of the shoe and that's not where I'm coming from. But
It bothers me that I know they only wear it once and then it goes to waste.
or they can't. I don't know, any clothes where it's like if I get it creased, like they have certain shoes that they can't get dirty. And it's just, I don't know. There's just something about like not being able to live because you're just stuck in this rigid body of looking cool.
Yes.
You know? I don't know. Doesn't do it for me. But if you buy me a pair, I'll wear them for sure.
Okay. I hate, for myself, bra straps showing when they shouldn't be showing. Like a dirty nude bra strap, which is like most of my bra straps. Like I can't stand
like showing on purpose or showing on accident.
Like where it's supposed to like stay with the strap, but it can't go. And then I hate strapless bras because they also cut you halfway through your boob, and your boobs change so much that I feel like I just hate bras. But I also love bras. I sleep in bras a lot of times. But I feel like bras are a burden. And you have to always consider, like when I'm packing, I have to bring all different types of bras and all different types of shirts because something's going to go with something else. And if you go braless, you are somehow tempting men in a way that is inappropriate. And it's like, sorry to be on my feminist high horse today, but Roe versus Wade lit something up in me, even though it doesn't really affect me anymore because I probably can't conceive because I'm old. But man, the idea that like hanging out with men a lot this weekend, there were times where I just didn't want to wear a bra, but I had to because it would have been a topic of discussion. Like it would have made them uncomfortable. Not me, really not me.
Yeah.
But it would have not them uncomfortable. It would have made them think that I was trying to seduce them or something. Do you know what I mean?
And you're on a bus. It's tough. Like you just want
Yeah, they're jiggling all over. It sends a message. There's just this bus bouncing titties.
The BBTs.
It just my thing is like I hate when that people think I'm doing something to be perceived as hot. Mm-hmm. And like I'm just doing it for comfort. Yes, my nipples are showing, but it's because the strapless bra that they had for me is too padded and it makes my boobs look like a cone. So it's not because I'm like, I want men to think about my hard nipples and masturbate to me. It's like, you're made to be a whore for dressing skimpy, even though it's 111 degrees in Georgia.
And it also depends on your tit size, on if you're being more of a whore or not. I feel like if you have bigger tits, you can't go braless because people are like, whoa, Rich, your tits are out. But a little titty girl can go braless all day long, comparatively, and not be as hoary. Even though that's what her
take
tits
off his though.
What? Oh, yeah.
From the news segment that men are more inclined to help women whose nipples are showing through their shirt.
Whose nipples are hard, yes. But that's, I guess you're going to get more help, but like, it's
Is it
still
the right help you want?
But guys would go, oh, she's doing that so she can get me to lift her suitcase. Or she's using that to manipulate, when it's really like, I'm doing it because bras are uncomfortable and it's hot. Yeah. And I don't want to wear one. But I was constantly, I mean, this is no one's fault but my own, but constantly trying not to dress hot. Like being in I didn't know we were ever going to go swimming on this trip with a bunch of guys. And I don't like my guy friends to see me sexually at all. Like, I just don't ever want that. If I'm in the front, like friends, it's just like, I never want any friends to sexualize me ever. It's fine if they're like, you look nice tonight, but to be like, maybe whispering about me behind my back, or like thinking that I'm just looking at my body in any way that makes me not a person, I just get grossed out about it. Of course, I want to be sexualized by men that I want to have sex with, but on a comic trip, I bought this. I was in Denver at Target, and I was like, I need a simple black bikini. Mine are all like this frayed and terrible, and so I was just like, oh, this one's on sale, and I just bought it, not even thinking I would ever wear it on this trip because I didn't think we would go swimming. But Bert Kreischer had such an amazing trip lined up for us with all these activities to do all day. Yesterday there was like a water slide thing, and it was the only swimsuit I had that wasn't like wet from the day before because there was another swimming thing that we did, and I had to wear this tiny little skimpy bikini. And I thought, God, everyone probably thinks I'm trying to be like so cute and like seductive, because I would think that about a girl that had a tiny bikini like me. But it was really because it was the only one at Target that had a matching bottom and top that I thought might fit me. And guess what? It's a little bit smaller than old Glazed Dog is right now. And so the whole time I'm just like, I have to give the caveat of like, guys, this is so much smaller than I thought it would be. I'm not trying to be like, oopsie, seductive. But you just, I guess my fashion statements are when I want to dress slutty, and it has nothing to do with you wanting to fuck me. It's just I want to dress like Dua Lipa. And it's not because I want to be perceived as hot, even though that's a big part of my life as well. Noah?
Oh, so for bottom, I guess just the current fashion trends were coming to mind, and I'm having a hard time choosing between bell bottoms and crop tops.
Oh, God. Okay, so that crop tops are dependent on what are we dealing with on the bottom. Is it low rise? Or are we doing with
gross? Yeah. So crop tops, I just feel like I'm paying full price for half a shirt, which annoys me right away.
That's a true statement.
And then when I put it on, I feel so conflicted because I'm like, all right, I don't look that terrible in this, but considering my age, is it kind of
it should be
like,
fine,
I feel
but
uncomfortable?
you're doing the same thing I'm doing. You don't want to be perceived as trying too hard, even though it's just cute and it might just be what you want to wear.
I don't know if it's that. I just feel like a dissonance of some sort when I put it on. Like,
yes,
this is like for younger women to wear, and I don't know what.
But younger women equals sexually attractive. So we equate younger women with like they should do this because they're sexy and small, and we're old and don't deserve to be looked at. And it's embarrassing for us wanting to be perceived as young when we're not, because we're gross and old.
No, I think where it comes from is when I was a kid, I used to love watching those makeover talk shows where like the girls would bring their slutty moms on and would tell Jenny Jones or whoever, please have her have a makeover.
Dress like a mom. Yeah.
My slutty mom needs a makeover. So I'm like, am I at the age where if I was a mom, I would be
why does the slut mom need a makeover? Because it's embarrassing that your mom would be a slut, that she would be a sexual human.
Yeah.
Like, that's shameful. Roe versus Wade is overturned because they hate women being, they think we're sluts if we have sex, you guys. They think we're sluts. Men think women who have sex are sluts. Even when we have sex with them, they question, man, if it was so easy for me to have sex with her, she's probably slut. It's not even their fault. It's society's fault. It's their brains. It's women being slutty. They want it so bad. They pay for it. They encourage it. And then when you do it, they shame you for it. And this isn't all men. It's not men's. It's even the men who are outspoken about it. I'm not even mad at you. It's inherent. It's like part of our DNA to hate sluts and to think women who are pro-sex, sex positive are sluts. When I took off my shirt this weekend to emulate Bert Kreischer as a bit, which is funny because I'm a woman and women don't take off their shirts, it is part of the funniness of it. If I was a man, taking off my shirt would not be like a thing. I was so concerned about doing it because I didn't want anyone to think I was trying to be sexy, or I was doing it because I looked good, or because I love this bra and my boobs look so good in it and I want you to see it. It was because I just wanted, honestly, I did it. I got inspired to do it because Bert does it, but also it was kind of a fuck you to that. I don't know. My friend wrote me and was like, I can't stop watching your shirt taking off. She was like, there's something about it that's so like in like response to Roe versus Wade. Like, oh, you hate that when we have sex, when we do sexual things. Fuck you. Here we go. It's kind of like burning your bra. Like, I really feel nudity and sex and like sexhibitionists talking about sex. I'm even thinking about making a porn, and I'm not joking you. My only fear now truly is obviously losing my career and being ostracized from Hollywood, which I already am, so who cares? But really more than anything, it's that I will be put to death when they if they end up going as far as the religious right wants to in this country. If you have had sex on camera, you could be literally imprisoned. I mean, women get tried for being raped in certain places, in certain countries that aren't too far off from where we're headed. But back to fashion.
Yeah.
Final thought.
The top thing for fashion for men, I mean, probably just a black t-shirt, a simple black t-shirt, because I have 35 of them.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why I do, because it just goes with everything. You could wear it to work out. You could wear it to do a show. You could wear it to dinner. No one really questions it because it's maybe kind of classy. It's just all around simple, you know?
Yeah.
I'm just simple. I'm boring. It sucks.
My
Basic
top one
bitch.
is nudity. My top one is women show your bodies whenever you can. Like, make people uncomfortable with it. That's my new thing. I really make people uncomfortable. Be loud. Like, you don't have to love your body to do it either. You don't have to be like, God, I'm so beautiful and this is me loving my body. No, you can still like look in the mirror and go, ugh, God, I hate my body. I want to change things, because that's the human condition. But honestly, take some chances to put it out there and make people uncomfortable, because I'm really upset about Roe. I have not had time to like let it in my heart what's happening in this nation, because I was on a bus with a lot of men and I was around a lot of jokes about how it's not a big deal immediately before I even found out about it. But it is the reversal of our rights that were so fundamental to, like, we don't even know what it's like without this right, a woman my age. It's especially like taking
here.
away our right to vote. It's on that continuum. It's like, this isn't that far off. It's really bad. And I get it. There are people that think that abortion is killing a baby. And for those people, I totally agree with you to be pro-life, because you think it's murder, but these men don't give a fuck about lives. They don't. For people who are pro-life because they really care about lives, all the more power to you. I get it. We'll fight to the death on that, and I'll let you fight on your side. But you're just one of these fucking guys who would pay for an abortion from your fucking mistress, and you were trying to take away our rights. It's not about that. It's not about because you care about rights or babies' lives. We all know that. And that's my final. That's my favorite fashion accessory is an abortion. Just kidding, please. Okay, I literally will be hung on the town square in 4 years for that, or whenever he comes back. Noah, what's your favorite fashion accessory?
I don't know. It's kind of hard to follow that, but
well, that's why. I mean,
I was thinking like the gold rim glasses, or like Coke bottle glasses. I really like those.
You like those? Like the grandma glasses?
Grandma, like nerd.
Like hipster girls wear?
Yeah, you wear them sometimes. They're cool.
Oh my God, they look so good on you. I like those new John Lennon sunglasses too that are
Kind of
coming
look
back.
good with bell bottoms. I'm not even kidding.
I know. We gotta get. I really want to follow up with your hatred of bell bottoms because I love a good bell bottom. It reminds me of the '90s mud
you're tall.
jeans, LEI flares.
Because you're tall.
What?
Interesting.
Oh yeah, you just
But
gotta
wouldn't
cut
they
the ends.
elongate?
Couldn't you just cut them? Because then you look cool. We're the same age. Couldn't you trim them?
Just stump. I don't like the stumpy look, which is why I like high-rise jeans because they make my legs look longer.
They make you look longer. And that's interesting
Opposed to
because
stumpy.
I would prefer to cut my jeans because I would always buy flares and they wouldn't go all the way to the ground. So it always looked like, oh, ding, 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 flood, flood, flood. Like it looked like a hoedown. I rarely found
You're
ones
playing
that
the
perfectly
spoons.
cuffed over my sneakers.
Yeah, it's bell bottoms just look like they were like taller person's jeans and they had to cut them
Oh,
to
I
give
love
them
the
to you.
slouchy look. God, I used to envy girls that had the perfect, it would just hit the bottom of the floor so that it frayed just slightly. And it would almost get that lighter color at the bottom on some slinky mud, MUDD, LEI. Those were like the brands that were so in the 90s. They're back, baby. And so are low rise. And let me just say, I'm getting on board with low rise. And I never thought I would say that.
Damn.
We got to go. I got to go to therapy. Clearly, I need it. Thank you guys for listening to the show. We will be here all week. You'll hear my daytime Columbine story tomorrow. And if any
a
of you
part
agree
two.
with anything that I said, because I feel like everyone in this podcast hates me, please write me because I could really use the help today. Love you so much.
Jackpot.
Jackrabbit.
Pod. Just pod, actually.